It's been a long day.
Nice.
Night.
It's been a long night.
Uh,
And I have looked into my notes to see that there is an Ismark mentioned in there.
Crackett
Uh,
Cog, CCASC. Here's our card.
I think Irina tries to move over to Azrael, and she leans over and whispers to you, Azrael, could we speak down through the trapdoor for a moment?
Of course, yeah.
She smiles at the man who looks at her again, tilting his head, and she says, Excuse us, we have something to discuss in private. He shrugs his shoulders and he says, Look, have any of you checked that room beyond there? And he points at the lounge. You see no lock on this side, by the way, no golden lock.
Well, you can go through a trapdoor, but I think they need a moment.
Well, if you're going to be discussing something, I think I'd like to have a look in there. You know, not that I don't trust you, but Lagdana would be upset with me if I didn't at least check to see if she were there. And we were looking
First,
for a certain item. We're in search of
first,
the sigil of the sun.
Leia approaches. I'm gonna say she approaches the door and starts listening through the door.
To the lounge?
No, through to the stairwell area because she's currently in the lounge.
There's like a solid stone wall there. You want to listen through the wall?
No, I'm listening
Oh,
through
I
the
think
door.
you're saying you're listening down the trap door.
no, through the door
No,
right
from the
here.
lounge to where everyone else
From the
is.
lounge. Do you
Yeah.
see?
Okay. I didn't realize you weren't on the same level. Yeah, you
No.
don't hear anything through that door.
Hmm.
No voices at all.
Say, what would you happen to know about Strad von Zarevich?
The devil? Well, I know probably what everyone else knows, but I guess as outsiders, you probably don't know much. He's been hibernating for quite some time. It's beyond remembrance, the last that he was awake, and we're all glad of it because he's said to be quite a terror.
That's where you're wrong. Where we're from.
You happen to
Isn't it?
have. Would you happen to have a child who is also called Ismark?
He approaches that door. No, I don't think that I'd be the fatherly type. I spend too much time slaying vampires, you see. I've managed to build myself a name for it, actually, though I grudgingly admit Lugdana is a bit more well known than I. Still, I do all right. He grins. And he opens that door. And he steps into the lounge. And Thaya is not there.
Rippy.
Wait,
Azrael,
what?
Yeah.
Irina leads you into the guest room, and she says, Azrael, that man is Ismark Antanovich the Great.
He did claim that he was, yes.
No, I don't mean that he's great. I mean, he is the great. He's one of my people's heroes, but he's been dead for centuries.
Well, I mean, judging from that body over there, I think we might have somehow, or spiritually connected the place, or somehow, I don't know how, time travel, which is fake, obviously. It's only a fiction.
I wouldn't believe it possible, except that we have a statue dedicated to him in the town square in Barovia, and it looks just like him.
Yes.
The fact
wish
that Damfear doesn't believe in time travel just tickles me.
I wish that my brother Ismark were here. He's always looked up to Ismark Antanovich, although it's turned against him now because the people call him Ismark the Lesser in comparison to Ismark the Great.
Do you
Still,
know
I
when?
think he would be very happy to meet this man.
Do you know when this Ismark the Great was born?
About 200 years ago.
200 years ago. That body is 400 years. It seems we are in some kind of connection to this place spiritually, maybe.
Ismark was said to be a great friend of the paladin Lugdana, she who fought at Yasterhill against the demon Chernavog to save us all.
Yes.
Ismark is checking out the lounge, and he's idly talking back to any of you that entered with him. He says, you'll want to keep your eyes out for it as well. The sigil of the sun may be in this castle. We've found some old documents which suggest this was its last resting place. It's a item of great power. It's his platinum amulet shaped like the sun. It's said to be useful in fighting against the undead. It has a large ruby crystal embedded in its center.
Can Mel make a history check if she's seen anything like this?
Yes.
Clear at all?
Make the check with advantage.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for saying that with advantage. Oh,
You have seen something that is exactly like his description. When you were in the werewolf den, you saw something which you identified to be the holy symbol of Ravenkind. It's exactly the same as he just described.
would you happen to know of an artifact similar related to what's her name again? Sorry, asking this above the table. The goddess
Mother Night.
Raven Mother.
Mother Night.
Would you happen to know of an artifact similar to the goddess Mother Night?
I don't believe that the sigil of the sun has anything to do with Mother Night. I think it was imbued by the Morning Lord himself through one of his prophets. But that's just the stories that I've heard.
We've come across in our travels a very similar item, except it's under the control of the priestess of Mother Night.
I can't imagine how that could be the case.
Its power is very similar to what you've described.
Did you see it in the castle?
No, instead we've seen it on the road out there in Barovia.
No, that can't be right.
It's true.
Well, if you should see it again, I would recommend to you that you keep it close, keep it safe, and escape with it if at all possible. It could be extremely useful in fighting against the forces of the devil. While he hibernates, we have a chance to turn Barovia around. That's what Lugdana, I, and Livius have been doing. We've been scouring the vampires from this land.
Belle will pull out one of the pieces of paper she's taken from Cog, and she will walk over to one of the tables in the room. She's going to sketch down the item, what she remembers, as well as create a small map to where they found it, and she will hand it to him.
He waits long enough for you to do that, and he looks at it and he says, if this information is truly the way to find the sigil of the sun, you may have done Barovia a great service by giving it to me. Thank you so much, my lady. May I have your hand? He raises your hand to his lips and he kisses it. He says, thank you. And I hope that we can become friends after we leave the castle. What do you think?
Yes?
Well, no
believe so.
schmoozing on company time.
He leads you over to this door here, and he says, have you checked in here, my lady?
The strange thing is, that's where we all came from.
Well, At any rate, I think I'd like to have a look, just to be sure. He smiles at you warmly. He turns back and he says, "Would the rest of you come with me? Strength in numbers, you know."
Certainly. I do have a question for you, though. Would you happen to know of the angel Ethereal?
He thinks for a moment and he says, "Ithuriel. Sounds like one of those old mythological characters."
I assure you they're not.
I know very
Personal
little of those
experience.
things. I wonder if Lugdana would know more. She's much more learned about the Morning Lord and his history, but there are some things that are beyond remembrance from the time before the mists.
Well,
At-
it was worth
yeah.
asking.
On the lower level, Irina peeks her head into the lounge and she says, "Thaya, is everything all right?"
And Thea, she says, yes, everything is fine. I don't understand much of what's happening right now.
Well, what I figured, we seem to somehow fallen asleep, maybe by influence of the supernatural, and we are experiencing visions, maybe. This is my rough estimate.
"There is a great hero of my people up there. If you would come with us, I think he's just called for us. I would
Yes.
like to learn more about him."
I have a question real quick. Can you guys see whenever I do like the circle thing?
Yep.
Yep,
Yes, yes, we
we
can.
can see it.
Yeah.
All right. So I was wanted to check out with this barrel looking thing.
Oh, it's the radius. We use it for like when we cast spells that have a radius effect.
Yeah.
I'm trying to use that as like an alternative to the ping. You know,
Okay.
like, I can't
Fair
use
enough.
ping.
Ismark. Hang on a sec.
I guess while Ismark is trying to do that, Azure will get ready to help everyone climb the trapdoor.
Ismark approaches the door to the lounge and he opens it. And he enters the lounge, and you find it very much the same, though again slightly less grimy than when you were in there. He enters with his raven upon his shoulder, and it caws a little bit looking around, and he pets it and says, "Steady, Livius. We'll find her, don't you worry."
Bella's going
He
to.
looks around and seems unimpressed.
Bella's going to approach the clock again.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to open it the very same way that she's done before. Curious
Okay.
of whether or not things have changed.
1 sec. You open it, and again, you find that same compartment inside, but again, empty. He watches you do this, and he says, "Handy, aren't you? Though I imagine that the devil probably won't be too happy that you're tinkering with his clockwork."
I've already done this once before, but I have no idea how this works exactly. What's the point of a compartment yet nothing hidden?
He shrugs his
Wait.
shoulders. "None of it makes sense to me."
Would you... Is there perhaps anything here we could put in there?
You note that the mechanism is working now. The clock is ticking, which is unusual. You're not entirely sure how it's working.
Does Mel not see any components?
Hector is going to whisper to Mel that we can find something we could put in here and maybe retrieve it in the future if this is the past. That could be a great boon.
Mel's going to look in her bag. She may have.
I was thinking more like if we could find something useful here right now.
You note that
Oh,
something
part of
else
that.
has changed here. The Divin table holds 2 silver goblets.
Mhm.
I was going to check, examine them. He's also going to cast Detect Magic.
Make a investigation check.
Digital or physical?
Ismark kind of puts his hands on his hips and watches you.
23.
You note that they are filled with wine, apparent wine, and you believe that these are solid silver goblets, probably very valuable. You'd place their value around 50 gold pieces. They are filled to the brim with wine. He chuckles and says, "Is this really the time for us to have a drink? I mean, I like to get drunk as much as the next person, but Castle Ravenloft is not inviting."
Apologies, it's just with everything going on, this castle, its mysteries, every little thing is not
Yes.
beneath investigating.
We might be trapped in some sort of strange loop.
Strange loop? I don't understand.
I don't think it would concern you, but our party is a different matter.
I guess
Above
Azrael
table,
at this
above
point. Sorry.
is above table. Is he more of a spectral figure? Sorry, a ghost.
No, he looks solid and alive.
Okay.
You said your raven is named Livius.
That's right. He's my trusty companion. We go everywhere together, don't we, Livius? The raven caws and jumps up a little.
Can I ask, when you came down those stairs, did you not notice the wall there?
No,
Solid brick stone wall.
no, there was no wall on those stairs.
Well, for us, there is. We can't pass.
Are
Yet
you
you
perhaps
can.
enchanted somehow? Is that why you are all here in this place? Perhaps
Something like
the
that.
devil has trapped you here.
Well, we just got done with a meeting with him like 5 minutes ago, so,
Belle is going to place her metal hand over the Cog's face.
Some vampires are capable of charming their prey, but not the usual spawn. They'd have to be quite old to do that.
The meeting we were in was with Von Zarovich.
Quite impossible. He's been asleep for over a century.
well, we're from a century ahead of time. We're
We're very well possibly 4 centuries ahead of you.
He scratches his head. Now this is beginning to get beyond me. I don't understand magic, and I certainly don't know about time travel.
Azrael walks
Well,
in. Actually,
If you
Ooh.
want some proof, I know that raven on your shoulder is Olivia's Mardukov, a
His
were-raven.
His jaw kind of drops, and he says, "How could you know that?"
Because we worked with his descendants many years later.
He, you see the raven's head, like, pull back a little bit, and he says, I don't know what you're talking about. He turns his head away, and he looks at the closet, and he says, "Where exactly did you come from?"
Belle removes her glove and she pulls out her gun. She shows her metallic arm to him.
Yes.
Like I
he-
said, we came from the future.
He looks it over, and he looks again at the closet, and he says, "What's in there?"
Azrael at this point, I imagine he would come with Thea and Irina, and he would walk past them, check the closet.
When you go to grab the doorknob on the closet, there's suddenly a stirring in the room. At first, you're not sure what's happened, but Ismark turns. He puts his sword up in a defensive motion, holds his torch high to spread the light, and you see that all of the furniture in the room has begun to stir, throwing up dust all about. The four-postered bed, the two chairs, even the ottoman and the rug are beginning to rise and writhe as if they were alive. Ismark says, "Whatever magic you've been talking of, it may have found us now. I believe we may have to defend ourselves. This castle is rising against us."
Raises her pistol and brings out her eldritch cannon.
Moments after he says that, the room begins to attack, and everyone must roll initiative. However, we are almost at the hour mark. We may want to stop here.
Yeah, I'll need to go.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay.
But this is
Alright.
actually an exciting moment to stop at, I think. I'm going to do a little initiative, and then that's it.
Next session next Strahd session is estimated to be at the 15th of December.
Yeah, I'll be back on the 14th.
Oh, wow, that's a long holiday.
Well, I'm not going to be on holiday just yet, but I will be going on. I'll be leaving on the 30th.
Right.
Faces, remember, click on your icon for COG when you roll initiative.
Oh,
What happened?
I click. And then.
Click on your icon,
Yeah, I clicked
and
it.
then you go to here.
Yeah, for the
Oh.
1st and the 8th, I
Wow.
won't be able to.
I rolled a lot of ones today.
Oh no. Alright.
15.
And
Still
Darian?
didn't work. But
What?
That
So
was a
what
good
you do, you
catch on
click
Olivia's.
you click on your icon, what's the name of these? Your player token.
Yeah, I'm on my player token right now.
Yeah, you click on your player token, then you go to your character sheet, and that's where you click initiative, and it'll roll initiative and place you on the turn order automatically.
Okay, but where do I find initiative on this character sheet?
Above your hit points.
Oh right. Oh, there we go.
Maybe
There you
the
go.
two of you can figure out how he can plug in D&D Beyond. Maybe that'll help us out a lot.
How exactly are you playing?
I'm playing on my phone.
That's a little bit harder because the extension for the D&D Beyond to Roll20 is only
Great
on
initiative.
computer browser. Are you planning to all the time be using your phone, or will you eventually be able to play on something like a laptop or computer?
I don't really have any laptops except for like my school computer, which it has everything I need blocked.
Oof.
What do you mean you have everything you need blocked?
The administrators of the computer blocked the websites I need.
Yeah, it's
blocked me from accessing them.
Yeah, so it's not his personal computer. It's a computer the school lends them for their homework, and those are usually very restricted in what they can do. The only reason I know they do this now is because I was a janitor, and they have like huge freaking boxes just full of laptops for like elementary school to high school kids.
Okay, shit. I guess California's less restrictive still then. Because my cousins have access to stuff like that still.
Huh.
California's very different.
Indeed.
You said something about using VR earlier.
Yeah, I was using my
Crazy.
VR headset.
You were... Okay, let's see.
I think we should maybe do do it like that. That you can use Roll20 or D&D Beyond for the checks. I feel like the app on Roll20 on the phone could be convenient because you just press it
I
and give
already
you a
tried
receipt.
that, but the phone is not compatible with the app. It says I need a lower version of Android.
Oh my, okay. Well, still, like, you could focus on the stats and we can maybe relay on the map to you somehow.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see.
I'm about to think of something within
Maybe.
these 2 weeks.
Wait, hold on.
Oh yeah, we have a lot of time to
Yeah,
figure
there's
it
plenty
out.
of time to figure it out.
Yeah,
Roll
speaking
I'll be
of-
going now.
Okay,
And,
Okay.
Thanks for coming.
Bye,
We'll see you when you
At
come
a
back.
point,
Stay alive in
yeah,
Japan.
at a point,
vacation.
I'm not leaving for Japan just yet. It'll just be like right before our next session would be.
Yeah.
I'm just going to my parents' place to have Thanksgiving, which is why I can't continue today.
Oh, I hope you have a nice Thanksgiving and a nice trip.
Yeah, just an early Thanksgiving.
That reminds me,
Yeah.
I gotta make a turkey and twice baked potato casserole.
That sounds good.
Thank you.
Can I get the recipe from you?
I'll see you guys
My
later.
Yeah,
is,
yeah. What, the twice
See you
baked
later,
potato
Yuka.
casserole?
Have fun.
Bye.
Yeah.
I got. Oh, it's super easy. I did
I
it because I
am-
tried to do. Oh, go ahead, Iggy.
No, you talk about turkeys first.
Well, so I discovered it's my mom's recipe, but I was trying to do like a pot roast like a month or so back, and I peeled all the potatoes and was ready to just bake them in the oven, and my mom was like, "Oh, well, you're supposed to put that in with the pot roast when you're doing it for a potluck for work," and I was like, "Well, balls." And she's like, "Well, just turn it into twice baked potato casserole, and that'll do you just fine." And it's basically, you ever had a twice baked potato?
Yeah, my
Yeah.
dad and my grandma would make them all the time every
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So instead of putting it back in the potato, you put it in a casserole dish. I like to do my mashed potatoes. I throw some bacon bits in. I like to throw some cheese in prior. I do heavy whipping cream.
We normally put. Yeah, we use sour cream for ours.
I do both. I do sour cream and heavy whipping cream, and maybe a little bit of milk. And I mix those all together. I put them in a casserole dish, and I sprinkle a layer of cheese on top. If you do store-bought bacon bits, my mother recommends you put them on the grill and heat them up first before you throw them in the potatoes, because that gets them at the right texture. And then you throw it in until the cheese is like crispy on top.
Okay.
So, and this will be my second attempt at making a turkey this year, because the last one I got a recipe on using baking soda to like crisp it, but I put it in as like a general seasoning instead of just a little bit with my seasoning, and I just lathered that sucker, and it tasted like baking soda. It was horrible.
It tasted like baking soda turkey.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was rough. But this year it'll probably be better. I'll probably go without the baking soda, but I like to spatchcock it because first of all, spatchcock chicken down where I'm at, like the Hispanic, the food cities, it's like awesome. Plus, it's a lot easier to cook it when it's spatchcock. You can just throw it in the oven for half the amount of time.
Right.
Yeah, real quick, I want to mention something.
Sure.
So, at some point, my aunt is getting me my own personal computer. It just depends on when she's able to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how long that'll be. It'll be a while from now, probably.
And Darian, what type of phone do you use?
I use a Motorola.
Okay, so you're Android. Okay.
Yeah.
I found something for you then.
All right.
Okay. When he said Motorola, I thought it was a flip phone, and I was like, "What?"
Okay.
This is what Cox should invest in: Mel technical support.
Oh dear gods. I'm gonna die.
I knew somebody'd be able to solve the problem. I had no idea what to do, but I'm glad you guys can.
Why do I feel like I'm gonna die at the end of this campaign from not from the big bad, but from
Just
being
overworked.
overworked by Cog.
She might kill God, but not paperwork.
I I'm liking the dynamic between Cog and Mel, and the fact that like Mel is just on board 100% with just like, Mel, we need this. Okay. Mel, we need this. Okay.
Mel, I feel like Mel is a workaholic.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Kind of is. She kind of is. Okay.
Hey,
I
you would
sent
be
you the
too if
link.
you were stuck in the mist for forever.
She was stuck in the ethereal plane for 5 years.
She's
Azrael.
Yeah, that leaves a mark.
Azrael was also stuck in prison for a long time.
You know, that doesn't surprise
Okay.
me.
Actually, that doesn't surprise me either, actually, now that I think about it.
Give me 1 second.
Wow.
I gotta tell the audience that we're good. Audience, thank you for stopping by. As you can tell, we're pretty done for the day.